What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today, yes, today, we are going to dive into the comment section. But more specifically, a while back, I did a video on how to be a great first-year apprentice. And in the video, I asked for viewers to drop their own tips in the comment section. Now, it's been a while since that video dropped, so there has been some comments posted, and I'd love to bring you more tips about being an apprentice or just being an electrician in the IBEW and how you can better your experience career-wise based on the tips from other IBEW members provided to you through the comment section. So that's what we're going to dive into today. All right? Because it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without some dope content to step to. But the wait is over. So let's jump in. All right. First comment comes in and they say, my best advice, your journeymen are there to serve as examples and teach you. Some are shining examples of professionalism and mechanical pride. Others are shining examples of what not to do and who not to become. And it's important to know the difference. We don't know it all, but a qualified journeyman can figure anything out by adding the right questions. Learn what to do, what not to do, and what to ask. If you happen to be productive, great. But your job as an apprentice is to learn. Great advice. Here's another one. This is apprentice to apprentice. Second year apprentice here for Local 11. First year was definitely tough and was a learning curve for sure. My advice as an apprentice would be to know your bylaws and know what's right. A lot of these contractors won't put you with a journeyman and expect you to work alone. That was my experience out of boot camp. Never had real direction and was just told what to do and was expected to do it, even though I was brand new and had no idea what I was doing. It wasn't until later in the year that I learned I could speak up and express my concern. Bravo. It is your duty to know your bargaining agreement and to know your constitution and bylaws. It's your duty. You're becoming a member of a local union, and that is a wonderful tool in your work career because a local union provides a work-life contract that guidelines how your work life is supposed to go. So how can you know that you're being mistreated if you don't know what the legal guiding binding rule book is for how you're supposed to be treated at work? You can get fooled in a lot of ways by not knowing what your rights are. So you got to know your rights. That's part of being in a union, is that we have rights and protections, and we pay money called dues into a fund that pays for all of these protections, for lawyers, for all of these agents and all this other stuff that provides protection for us from the abuse of a contractor who wants to take advantage of an uninformed union member. All right, here we go. This is from a fourth-year apprentice. Great video, fourth-year apprentice here. I'm glad you made points on what a good brother is. And how things operate in a union and why they operate that way. I'm sorry, I thought that was advice. It's not, but thank you for the compliment on the video. And just to elaborate a little bit on what they're talking about is that, you know, there's a difference between a good electrician and a good union brother. Good electrician can be selfish, can be egotistical, can install great work and just be a jerk. A good union brother cares for their coworkers, cares for the organization more so than their individual self, because they understand that it's collectively that we all do well. And they understand that it's our job to teach our apprentices how to be good installers, but also how to be good union brothers. And so there is a difference between just being a union member and being a union brother. There is a very big difference. And for younger folks who are not accustomed to the language, when you say brother, We're talking about the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and it doesn't have to do with gender. It has to do with the organization. We are of like mind, and that's why we are a brotherhood. But we're trying to become more inclusive, and so now we say siblings more so than anything else. And who knows, maybe one day we'll progress to the point that we call it the International Siblinghood of Electrical Workers. But we're not there yet. I'm going to try to find another piece of advice. There's a couple of comments that are just thanking, and so I don't want to bore you with that stuff, you know. Here's another piece of commentary that had to do with being in a union, and it says, you mentioned the distinct difference between being an electrician and becoming a union wireman. It's not that we're better than those that are outside of the union. It's just that we're just as invested in your success as our own. With the tide rise all ships. You're not alone. So it's what he's saying is that a union electrician is as invested in the union as his own self well-being, his own personal gain. And that's right along the same lines. Let's see if I can get one more, maybe two. There is a difference between hazing and flat-out bullying. Don't put up with it just because the guy has been in for 40 years. You're a grown person, and there to be respected and learn. We all started knowing nothing. This refers to hazing that can happen on the job, especially for first-year apprentices. It's kind of teasing and stuff like that, playing little pranks to try to trick you and fool you, send you out for stuff that doesn't exist. And a lot of journeymen that do it because it was done to them, and they find it to be fun and something that welcome you into the siblinghood or brotherhood. My advice to you is that people will treat you however you allow them to treat you, and if you don't like it, then don't accept it. If you find it funny and you're okay with it, then laugh along with the joke. But keep in mind, people are going to treat you however you allow them to treat you, and that's in life in general. So if you don't like the way someone's treating you, stand up for yourself. You kind of have to do that in order to get that behavior to stop. One more. These are questions about changing careers. Okay, here's one that says, a couple tips that I will add. Number one, have a second phone that's on a pay-as-you-go plan that functions as your work phone. It's only used for emergencies or when work needs to reach you. And because using it costs money, you'll be completely decentivized to use it outside of that purpose. Bonus points if you use an old school flip phone. This person is giving tips to try to keep you from being distracted, safe at work, and more productive at work, which actually does well for the entire brotherhood. It's a great piece of advice. Number two, have a dumb watch. Quickly glancing at your watch to see how things are doing time-wise is a much better look than having to bust out your work phone to check it. It's also more efficient. That's true. When you're pulling out your phone to check the time, a lot of these supervisors and folks that are monitoring the job, that are trying to get the job built, they'll assume you're doing it all day and you're not really being productive. So it's better to have a dumb watch on your wrist. Number three, bring water and healthy snacks. It's not uncommon to be given a few 10-minute breaks throughout the day. The job can be taxing, especially during the summer. Use those 10 minutes to refuel yourself if needed. This is also a good time to stretch as well. Gotta have your lunchbox, gotta have your snacks, gotta have your protein, gotta have your bars, gotta have your fruit. Got to. Because this is a well-oiled machine that requires fuel to burn to be able to be the beast that it is. You'll need fuel too. That's all I got for the comment section. I did want to bring them to you because I noticed that there was quite a few new tips, and I wanted to bring that this way. My name is Eric. You're watching Union Minded. Please keep in mind that the fight is not left and right, but rather it is up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.